You still have the dot? Well, it's too late. You should have said something 5 minutes ago when I asked you.
Wow.
You don't have a dot now. I took your period away.
Someone's very upset. Listen, man, I worked a lot this week, man.
No, listen, unacceptable, dude.
I'm sorry. I know you're frustrated.
All right, Corey, it's live.
Beats.
Switch the image. It's live.
Beats.
Can you hear me? Can you hear this at all or no?
Yeah, switch the image. Though.
Beats.
I hear it. Switch the image.
Beats.
Okay.
Down. Beats. 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 Let down. Beats. Let down. Beats. 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 Let down. Beats. 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 Let down.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. What's up, P.SO? What's up, education? Everybody, this is 3 Beats Later. This is let me get my video going here really quick. This is the 4th episode. We are doing the P.SO remix today. So welcome back, everybody. We're live. We're just going to kind of give it about 30 seconds for people to trickle in and start watching. But welcome back. If you haven't seen any episodes yet, this is the 4th episode of 3 Beats Later. And you are welcomed by myself, Cheeky CP, Corey, Education, and P.SO are here. Hello. Say hello, everybody.
Heidi
All right. All right, so I'll just go through a quick intro. So if you have watched any of the other episodes, what we do is we challenge ourselves to make new music every week. And we've created a list of different songs that we want to, or different types of music that we want to sample, and different types of things that we want to do with our music to challenge ourselves to kind of step outside of our areas of comfort and to do something new and original. And to kind of build a community of other music makers out there and songwriters out there that want to participate in the weekly challenge to make new music and to kind of get together and showcase that music that you make. So the challenges are right here, which hopefully I can get it right this time. There it is. Bam! Right where my hand is going in and out. These are the challenges every week. Last week, what we did was we spun the wheel and it landed on number 2. Number 2 was to take some music from P.SO. P.SO is one of our hosts. What's up, P.SO? P.SO is a rapper. He has a big discography that you can get online and all the streaming outlets. And he's our buddy. So his music's great. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to take some of his music, sample something, remix something. We actually have inside access, VIP access to some of his acapellas. So P.SO sent that along. It is VIP access. Don't shake your head. And he sent us in a couple acapellas, actually. He sent some of them really late. So, you know.
Yeah, he did.
That might have had an effect on some of the beats that you're about to hear, but we did our best. And that's what it's all about. So if you're a beat maker, a sampler, songwriter, you're looking to get into making music in some fashion, you like hip hop, you like all different types of music, you know, this is a place to participate, learn from us, learn from each other, you know, tell your friends, tell anyone else you know that makes beats, watch the show, challenge yourself, and participate. So what we want to do is showcase other music as well. So if you start making beats with us, then send them in, and what we'll do is we will shout you out, we'll show some love, and we've already been pretty active on Twitter. I got to give some shout outs here. So on Twitter, we actually have followers, everybody.
Followers.
So the first, I want to name off the first 10 followers here. At Gesta_11, at _Diesel Threads, at Uda Boy Higa, at Damon Flores _NL, at Mark and Nick, at Teleho B, and at AOLEFT21. Those are our first followers on Twitter. So shout out to you. Hopefully you watch the show. Hopefully you get involved. All right, so we're gonna kick it off. So this week the challenge was, again, remixing some music from P.SO. You're gonna hear 3 beats today, 1 from each one of these producers. And at the end, after we listen to all the music, what we're gonna do is we're going to show some respect and kind of break down the beat as much as possible, try to understand how everybody made the beat, what their inspiration was, show some techniques. Hopefully you can learn from the different techniques that we use when we're producing the music. And then we are going to kind of crown a winner for the week. It's really just all about fun and games here. You know, sometimes, you know, someone's gonna like one beat over the other. Sometimes somebody might get robbed, like in the last week. You know what I mean?
I mean, somebody won 2 weeks in a row, right? Who's that person? Who won 2 weeks in a row?
Education won 2 weeks in a row. This is true. There's nothing I can say about that. You know, you can't be salty for 2 weeks in a row also. So I have to grow up. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, Education won episodes number 2 and episodes number 3. And here we are, episode number 4, trying to dethrone Education. So he's at the top right now. Okay. He's going to get dethroned. All right. All right. So let's kick it off. We're going to have P.SO start us off, but P.SO is the person that we're sampling, so he has to start us off this week. So P.SO, let us know a little bit about the music that you sent to us. Let us know any other project that you're working on as well, what you got cooking, just so, you know, the viewers can kind of understand a little bit more about the projects you're working on. And tell us what you're drinking. Over here, I got a Port City IPA. It's tasty.
Word. I actually made myself a nice little nifty cocktail.
It's the first time we talked all the time about alcohol.
Yeah, you know, it has some like apple cider and stuff. It's really good. Well, what's up, world? I want to say thank you to my colleagues, Education, Cheeky P, for putting this together. Tonight is very interesting because we're being, I guess it's honoring me, and it feels really weird that we're doing this so early. I didn't even expect for us to be remixing my stuff already so quickly. But to talk about projects that I have coming out, I have a new project coming out with 2 Hungry Bros. I don't think I've even formally announced that, but I just got the masters, so it's actually coming out, so I can actually announce it. It's called Thrust Into the Unknown, and that will be coming out probably a month or so. Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
What is there a concept behind that? I know you like to
yeah,
the whole multimedia thing going on.
Sure. So I put out a project last year called American Anime, and that was kind of like an ode to science fiction and comic books and fantasy. This project is kind of a continuation of that, but it's a little bit more relevant to the stuff that's going on right now. So there's some real deal lyrics on there. I'm currently trying to pull up the artwork for you guys because I haven't debuted the artwork. So right now would be a cool time.
Oh man, exclusive artwork.
Exclusive.
The artwork.
VIP access and exclusive. Leaked artwork about to come out.
Right, and leaked air horn sounds.
Okay.
Fing. As he's digging it up. So is it artwork? Is it by who's the artist?
So he's a comic book artist named Lee Iacocca. He's really groovy dude, and he put this cool image together for me.
That's dope.
So yeah.
Why are you a headed backpack flying through the air though?
That's not me. That's actually Ben Brooks. Shout out to him, bro. Yeah, I'm the wizard guy with the staff.
You're the staff wielding wizard guy.
Staff wielding wizard. Yeah, that's me. But yeah, so this is a really interesting week. Once again, sorry guys, I had to get the acapellas from the engineers and yada 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 yada.
Lots of yada.
Lots of yada. But here we are. We're here. We're ready to go.
Awesome.
So,
what is this?
So today I'm debuting my new Launchpad X, which I've never used before. I have spent maybe about a week and a half with it, and I don't want to give it a full review yet, just because I feel like I need to spend a little bit more time with it. There's no knobs, so I'm definitely dethroned from being the knob master.
Knobless master.
I'm gonna have to be the pad master now. So I guess
pad master. I mean, you're
pad master P.
Staff wielding wizard though. So
pad master P. So let's talk about what I'm remixing. I have an acapella for a song called Tank on E. The song Tank on E. I'm working on another project, and this particular beat is a beat that I'm no longer using. So the acapella is kind of just up for grabs. So when this decision came last week, I thought it was a perfect acapella to toy around with, because if I actually make a beat that I like, I'll actually just release it as a straight up record. It won't even be a remix. It'll be just a straight up record. So I had some fun. I found a cool little sample, and I put it together. So let's get it going, guys. My name is P.SO, and this is how I made it.
On me, somebody better pray for me, cause my tank's on E. My singing ain't on E. Trying to crack the case, no leads, yeah, my tank's on E. I can't escape police, I'm riding and my brakes won't read, yeah, my tank's on E. Drowning in my face, won't breathe, in the world, no place for me, yeah, my tank's on E. He's depressed cause he's overweight, he's upset, no faith, couldn't hold a date. Fast food, fried chicken, all that hood shit. Fructose, corn syrup, all that good shit. Nobody shaming, not about his size and shape. It's about the fact he can't let go the fries and shakes. Sleep apnea at night, so he lies awake. And he tries to put his problems all inside his face. Scared to undress him, he eats for unstressing. All that sugar soda fucking up his blood pressure. So he's under pressure, and he's rather nervous. Hit the gym, started stepping, had to gather courage. Now he's losing weight, he paid a wealthy price. Hardest thing for him to do is live a healthy life. No judgment, he's lost and out to sea, cause the dude in the verse that I'm talking about was me. God put your grace on me, somebody better pray for me, cause my tank's on E. My singing ain't on E. Trying to crack the case, no leads, yeah, my tank's on E. I can't escape police, I'm riding and my brakes won't read, yeah, my tank's on E. Drowning in my face, won't breathe, in the world, no place for me, yeah, my tank's on E. My homie Jimmy, yeah, he likes to drink. I mean, he really likes to drink. Problem is, when he's drunk, he doesn't like to think. Now he's fighting for his life, locked inside the ring. I'm not anti-alcohol, you know I get lit. But there's a difference when you gotta get ripped every day to live with. Problems with the wife and the kids. This liquid doesn't fix shit. Got the shakes withdrawal, you can see his eyes. Getting smashed over breakfast, don't be surprised. He might lose all his kids cause of DUIs. Self-control, discipline is the key to life. You pay the whole price when you can't control vice. Another homie couldn't take it, took his own life. Had to sit Jimmy down, talk the whole night. Yo, I'm here for you, bro, you gotta hold tight. God, put your grace on me. Somebody better pray for me, cause my tank's on E. My singing ain't on key. Trying to crack the case, no leads, yeah, my tank's on E. I can't escape police. I'm riding and my brakes won't read, yeah, my tank's on E. Drowning and my face won't breathe. In the world, no place for me, yeah, my tank's on E.
My name is P.SO, and this is how I made it. So, yeah, this was an interesting task to try to put this together. I found this cool sample from this guy. His name is Michael Biscaglia. I know I'm butchering that song, that name, so I apologize. But the song is called Jasmine, and it's one of my favorite like jazz songs when I want to just chill out and relax and just mellow out. So I'm just pulling it up right now, actually. Yeah. Here we go. Sorry. There we go. Sorry. Couldn't stop it. I had a runaway track. Sorry, y'all. That's all getting edited anyway because it's pure sample. So my bad. So yeah, so I found this record. I loved it. It really is smooth and soothing. I decided to just chop it up. Honestly, you can never go wrong just sampling piano chords. It's just so much fun just throwing them together and just finding an arrangement that sounds really cool. So that's what I did with this one. I added a couple of other elements. I tried not to go too crazy. Let's talk about the drums real quick because they're a bit interesting. I just try to pick a drum pattern that followed the basic sample pattern, which is boom, 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 boom. And I put this weird, I don't know, it's kind of like a tom, I believe. Kind of sounds like someone banging against a garbage can. I like that sound, and I just felt that it sounded really good with it. The bass line is real simple as well. Very simple bass. Then I found this one really cool electric kind of like piano sound that I enjoy. Yep. And then I just brought it all together. My name is P.SO, and this is how I made it. So I'm open the floor to my brethren, Corey and E. Any
Yo,
questions?
yeah, that's nice, man. It's so interesting to hear, you know, the person who wrote the lyrics, you know, wrote the flow, and then having you go and create a beat around it. You know what I mean? When you wrote it to a different beat altogether. So you had some constraints with the BPM. So, you know, it was locked in at 90, right? So did you find like any kind of like reference points when you were writing the drums out? Like you mentioned that there were certain accents that you tried to keep in there. Were they the same points in the older track that you originally recorded to?
Good question. I thought about doing that, and I just abandoned the idea just because my you know, approach to this was that I'm just gonna make a beat in 90
Yeah.
and
Okay.
hope that it lands.
Right.
If it doesn't land, that's okay. I'll make another one. But
Yeah.
instead of trying to match the sound and the feel of the original beat, I just said, let me just make something groovy in 90 BPM. And if it works, it doesn't. If it doesn't, you know. And I think this one ended up actually changing the feel of the whole track.
It's actually pretty interesting because the vibe that you have on this track is a very big pocket of yours. Like a lot of tracks that you do that become like my favorites are like between 90 and 95 BPM, and they have this kind of energy to them. So like Mr. Hollywood, Some Fun, those songs kind of fall in this range with 90 to 100 BPM, but they have this smooth melody and they're almost like jazz tracks. I think you really do well on jazz tracks.
Yeah, and
Thank you, sir.
It does change the vibe completely. It sounds way more heartfelt, I want to say, than the other track. Because I heard the other track with the other beat. And did you put effects on your voice too, on the vocals?
Oh yeah, I did. I don't know. That's just me wanting my voice to sound different.
Yeah, that was like a little. I like it. It's like a little bit of like distortion, like telephone kind of like filter going on.
Yeah,
I actually like it.
Good. Thank you. Appreciate that, sir.
And so that what is up right now, the purple on the piano scroll right now, the piano roll.
Yeah.
That's just an Ableton keys or something like that. Like, what is that instrument?
Yeah, no, this is actually Labs. I gotta thank E for hooking me up with Labs. It's just a really cool 64-bit VST. Hold on, I'm trying to pull it up. Don't I have to hit the wrench?
Is that that's just a plugin?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I added a reverb, a delay to it rather, to make it sound
Nice.
a little bit different. Like it sounds like this. I put the delay on it.
Yeah, and the chops on the piano are really good too. I like that. I like the whole track, man. This is nice.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate, man.
And
You were saying something?
you know, I was just gonna say it's good. All that. That's exactly what I was gonna. That even that stutter, you know what I mean? Da, 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 boom, that's really nice.
Thank you.
It's all that's all acoustic right there. That's acoustic piano, acoustic bass, stand-up bass. You know, obviously the drum kit, and it just has a really nice vibe. It's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, you know, this type of music just lends itself to sampling, so I couldn't go wrong.
Is this gonna make the album coming up?
It depends on what I hear tonight. I hear you guys got some juicy cutlets. Maybe. Right. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. So we'll see. I might re-record the verses if I feel like it. Who knows?
If you win.
All right. So P.SO, and this is how I made it. I'm passing it to my brethren.
All right. I'm up next. Okay, let me share my screen. So I have a few disclaimers this week. Okay, we're gonna go down the list of disclaimers. The first disclaimer is...
You have a whole list of disclaimers?
Yes. The first disclaimer is, I got too many things open. That's the first disclaimer. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is Corey Cheeky CP, and this is how I made the beat. So this week was week 4. Our challenge was to remix a P.SO track, and I took it out a cappella. So P.SO wanted us to focus on that track that we just listened to called Tank on E. I didn't get that till, I don't even know when, Friday or something like that. So definitely a limited amount of time. I did have a different acapella, and I went with something right away. So a couple of disclaimers. Number one is, I think I hit the track limit. I'm at 15 tracks. Okay, track king, and self-proclaimed track king right here. Okay, the next thing is, fellas, ladies, gentlemen, I'm not a great singer. I can kind of like hit some notes, you know, but this is kind of a call out to anybody who wants to collaborate with me. And when I make a beat, if you want to jump on a reference track, you have a good voice, I would love to do that. Even once a week, these are going to be coming out. So you'll hear me sing on here again, but bear with me on that. Just imagine it's actually someone who could sing really well. And there was some inspiration before I play this. This is a track that just over the last month or so has made me think of P.SO. If you watch any of the other episodes, you'll know why once you hear this. So I'm gonna do a quick, see if I get that. Okay, there we go. We got audio. So here we go. I'm gonna play the track through, and I'm gonna break it down for you.
Put me on your Instagram, put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram, put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram, put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram, put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram, put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram, put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram, put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram, put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram, put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram, put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram, put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram, put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram, put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram, put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram. I wanna show you more. Put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram. I get so excited. Put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram. When we hit the floor. Put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram. I know that you like. Put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram. I wanna show you more. Put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram. I get so excited. Put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram. When we hit the floor. Put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram. Put me on your Instagram, put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram. Put me on your Instagram, put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet, put me on your internet. Put me on your internet, put me on your 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 put me 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 on your Instagram. 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 Put me on your internet. Put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet. Put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet. Put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet. Put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet. Put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet. Put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet. Put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet. Put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet. Put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet. Put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet. Put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet. Put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet. Put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet. Put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet. Put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet. Put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet. Put me.
All right. Okay. So let's break this beat down. All right. So if you watch any of the other episodes, P.SO has been making some house beats. So this was a P.SO remix, and I had to make a house beat. So I'm going to try to do this as quick as possible because I know I talk forever. The first thing is let's look at the sample. So I took a track of P.SO's called "Can I Get a Witness," and the subject matter is very serious, but I took a section of the song. Obviously, it's a main section here, which is
put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram.
Okay, and that just it clicked with me right away, and I thought, okay, P.SO, there's a quick sample here. What would happen if I just kind of built a house track off of that? And that's what we got, right? So I had to speed this up. This is at 114 BPM because it's a house beat. So I took his vocal sample and I did some time stretching, okay? If you look at the sample, I'm using Beatmaker 3 and an iPad. When you take the sample, there's a really cool tool here that you can see under where it says loop, it says BPM 95.20 and live stretch on. That's what you want to do when you time stretch is you turn live stretch on and you just change the BPM to kind of fit within the specific tempo you're dealing with, right? So I could create a whole video on time stretching because it's kind of really hard sometimes to get it to fit. And this took me a little time, but I got it to fit. Okay, so basically I'm thinking house beat. So I have a couple actual drum banks here. The main drum bank that you'll hear in the background, it takes a while to get here, is just your typical boots and cats, right? So here we go. Nothing crazy, but the other drum elements are the things that actually make it a little more interesting. I'm gonna play each one of those. Here we go. So the main takeaway there, and that's me playing the bass. Okay, so the main takeaway there is that if you separate your drums into different banks, especially with house music, you can do different things and put different effects on different sets of the beat. So all together, it's going to sound, you know, like your typical house beat, but separated, it allows you to kind of build a song into blocks. So that's where you can see the yellow and the purple here are the beat broken down, and the blue is the main kind of like driving, you know, kick, boom, boom, boom. All right, so that's the drums. Okay, so I messed with a plugin called Layer, Layr, and it has, and I just got this new controller, which is the Arturia Minilab MK2. Okay, and I started messing around with this thing, put in that plugin, and found some really, really nice keys. And I was playing around with different chord progressions, and I found one that really stuck. And this is the chord progression and the keys just from the plugin. And then I added bass. So the bass line is really where it's a little more up tempo, you know, your typical house beat. And I just went with it. And I've only really been playing around with the bass for the past year, but I've been a guitar player my whole life. So it's kind of coming naturally to me, but I wanted to kind of make it funky and fun and poppy. So when you listen to that together, it sounds really nice. And then I added guitar too, so it made it funky with the guitar. Sorry, I put some automation on this track, so I think that's why it's not playing the guitar right now. So you don't get to hear the guitar today. I don't know what's going on with that track. Let's go to it actually. Can I solo this? Just double check if this is going to play or not. All right, well, you'll have to imagine some funky guitar there. I don't know what happened. What did I do with this track? It's not playing. Okay, this track is not playing. I might have to reset, but I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, so we got keys, we got bass, we got P.SO saying over and over, put me on the internet, put me on your Instagram, and you'll see I kind of use a little bit of track automation to just volume swell him into the track, which is right here.
Put me on your Instagram, put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram, put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram, put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram, put me on your Instagram.
Up to that point, that's a track. It's building, building, building. And then we really hit the house feel once the bass gets in there, and I had to sing over it. I pretended that, you know, I had the artist with the great voice. I don't have an artist in-house with a great voice, so it's just me. I'm singing falsetto terribly, but I added those vocals, so that's the funny part of this track. But just imagine some good voice.
That you like it. I wanna show you more. Put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram. I get so excited. Put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram. When we hit.
Okay, we actually don't want to hear more of that. But the fun part of this whole track is the second half. So last week we did a halftime break, and I wanted to kind of continue to explore with that. So this beat goes from 114 BPM, kind of regular time feel, where you have the snare on the 2 and the 4. And then what we did is a quick kind of your typical, you know, breakdown, or like energy rising up into a breakdown, and then it's in halftime after. So I'm going to play from that point, and you kind of hear everything swelling up. Here we go.
Put me on your internet, put me on your internet, put me on your internet, put me on your, 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 put me on your Instagram. Put me on your Instagram.
Okay, so a lot going on here too. The main thing is now we're in halftime, so it's a different drum feel. Altogether, I'm really took everything away from the drums and just left with a kick on the 1, a snare on the 3, and the snare has a lot of effects on it. If you look at it, just the snare alone, when we look at effects, here it is right there. And we go to that channel, the reverb is way up. I'm like in a hallway down the hallway. And then what we did was we added this crazy bass, which you hear down here, which is I listed as distorted bass. And that's the main. Now the chords are there. They are just chopped. The chord normally rings all the way out through the bar. What I did is I hit the chord on the 1 and had it ring until the 3 and cut hard. So I'm going to play the distorted bass and you can hear how that sounds. And then I'm going to also play the keys that are getting chopped. So here we go. Let me play it in the right spot. Here it is. Okay, and so when you listen to some like newer school house and deep house and all that stuff or whatever, and even, I don't even know, poppy techno stuff, you hear halftime feel everywhere and you hear, it sounds like everything's chopped and we're getting rid of the reverb. There's massive reverb and then there's all of a sudden just no, it's like completely negative space. And that's what I was going for here. So with the track, you hear the duh, and then on the 3, it's just, you could hear a pin drop. There's nothing happening. And then you hear it come in again. I kind of chopped it up and led some more negative space. So that way you could hear P.SO say, "Put me on your Instagram." And that part is chopped as well. And in time stretch. So that way it lasts the whole bar. And then I got inspired by listening to it. I'm thinking like, that'd be cool if some vocals were on top of that. And that's what I did is I added some vocals. So I'm just saying, you like it, you do. And then I'm hitting a harmony, which is the same phrase, but just up a little bit. So I thought that part was cool. And then lastly, I'm just adding like ear candy to it, if you will, where you'll hear that little shimmer of the keys. I found another preset in Beatmaker 3, which was just like this little, I don't even know what it is. Here it is. Yeah. So kind of like an echoey, delayed little bleep, blorp, bleep, blorp. And then what I did was played this little line on it and put at delay. So I really thought about halftime. I thought about cutting and pasting some of the guitar lines too. The main kind of theme to this is the bass, the deep, heavy, distorted bass, and the guitar going bling, 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 bling. So that adds a little bit of like R&B feel to it, a little sexiness. And I really wanted like a really staccato sounding instrument. I couldn't find anything, so I just had to play it out on the guitar. And later I'll probably build something from that. But this whole breakdown I really liked a lot. I'm just gonna play it from the second half of this breakdown and then have it play out. I was thinking coming back to the house beat, and that's what I did at the very end. Is just kind of said, all right, now we're going back to the regular part of the song because we got to hear P.SO and his line over and over. Oh, one other element is this flute I added in here. So the first half has nothing in the background. When the snare hits and you hear the snare echo, there's no other instruments playing. But then the second half, when it repeats, what I did was I added in some flute noises. So that's right here. And it kind of like adds a nice, really cool, nice layer when you listen to just that and the keys together. I'll play it.
So on your Instagram.
a lot of chopping, a lot of cool stuff happening. The flute really added it to another level when you hit that second part of this breakdown.
Put me on your Instagram. Put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram, put me on your internet, put me on your Instagram, put me on your
All right, so that's the beat. I'm gonna open it up to the guys, but that's how I made this beat. And here we go. Let's open it up to the floor here.
Wow.
Pretty dope, man. It's a very dope beat. Very intricate beat. I like that a lot.
I'm really impressed. I'm surprised at how much you put into this beat. Yeah, I really think you're trolling me by making a house beat, which I think
I was gonna say that. I was definitely gonna say that.
Okay.
I'm not trolling you.
But I genuinely think it's a really dope, interesting collection of sounds. I love the chord progressions, and there's also the chords that you decided to use. And I like that one phrase repeated over and over again type thing. Like that, as generic as it can be, sometimes I think it's pretty cool. So
the put me on your internet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's you took the song meaning and went completely different with it.
I know, man. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, this doesn't seem right. Maybe, I don't know. It just was like the subject matter was so serious, and then I was like, I don't know. That's why I'm petitioning you to make an all remixes side B of your album, so we could just keep chopping a P.SO track.
But I'm petitioning you.
But nice, very, very nice, Corey. Very nice.
Bird,
So
thanks.
I have a question about this beat here.
Yeah. I'll break
Can you
anything
go back
down.
to the beginning for me real quick?
Absolutely. Let me just pull the. Okay, we're at the beginning.
Just start playing.
Okay.
So the bass you have, right? It sounds like it's in the basement of a trunk in the chamber of a cathedral. Like it has so many. It almost has like a synth effect to it, but it's not a synth because I know you're really playing it. But the levels to that bass are so deep.
So I synthed it too. I didn't talk about this, but basically I played it. So here is the me playing. And then, so shout out to a couple people. One is Gospel Musicians plugin for Beatmaker 3 is great. And in fact, they have a bunch of different packs, and I had to get their Bassalicious 2-pack because it's synths and it's all subby basses and really cool basses. So I actually had an error where I recorded this and then I did something with a track and put it into a different file and I couldn't find the file. So I had to load up what I played on the bass in a pad. And this is me playing the bass right here. So I put it into a drum kit, and the drum kit actually has presets on it. One of the presets was like a distortion. That's why you hear this weird resonance there. So that's part of it. And then the other thing is the sub bass that I took from when I was playing with the controller is this whistle sub. Now listen to this because this is pretty sick. So that's where I got that. My bass playing, I added a filter. So I just added a low pass filter and got rid of a lot of the highs. I don't know why. It's probably really bad etiquette or something, but I keep doing that every time I play the bass. And then I double it up with this whistle that had a growl to it at the sub kind of growl and a super high whistle at the top. So you have 4 octaves above and 4 octaves below. You have a deep note and a super, super high note. And for some reason, those things together sounded really nice.
That's dope. You can tell it's real bass, but you can also tell that there's some mechanics to it.
Yeah.
But it has such a dope vibe, a dope energy to it. I think you did a really good job of explaining this beat. So I really don't have many questions. It was just that bass sound. I didn't I know you didn't cover on why that bass sounded such.
Yeah. So
it's
crispy.
It's like, yeah, it's natural, but it also has like this house edge to it.
And the other plugin in the Gospel Musicians VST plugin for Beatmaker 3 is called Distorted Bass. And I'm telling you, the growl here, I mean, I'm going to solo this. This is the main part of the breakdown. Listen to this. Oh, I guess you can't hear anything. I don't know what's going on.
Solo the bass. Wow. That's the growler. Wow.
Yo, I think it's called Distorted Sub or something like that. And the attack, when you hit the key, you get this like wah almost. So it's like opening a filter. It's going wah. But when you're holding the key down, you lose that attack on the next notes that you play. So what you're getting is this like open wah, and then after it opens and you're holding the keys down and you don't allow any spaces and the next notes that you play, they all just hit this like distorted, like, and it's like all guttural, like nastiness that was just so sick. And that's kind of how I built that second part of the song. Just from that inspiration of playing with that, I was just like, whoa, what is this? You know?
Dope.
All right. Cool.
So,
all right.
So wait, I have one more question for you.
Okay.
So in that beat, it sounds like there is, when you switch it, the build up, did you do the halftime the same way you did last week, or did you do like use a halftime tool to switch it?
No, I did the halftime. The same concept is existing. I'm not changing physically anything in the track itself. The whole track is still in 114 BPM. But when you look at pattern 1, right? We'll look at pattern 1. What's happening is there's a lot of shit going on here, so sorry. Here is the main snare, track 10, and in pattern 1 regular time, the snare is on 2 and the snare is on 4. Okay, it's this one right here, right? 2 and 4. But then when I go to the halftime feel, which is over here, oops, I did not want to do that. Okay, when I go to the next one. Now I'm in halftime feel, and I know that I have to switch where the snare is hitting. And I know that now the snare is going to hit on the 3rd beat, and that's what you see right here on the screen. So mentally, I know that I just had to start a new drum pattern, and I had to make sure that the snare is falling on the 3. Now, obviously, you don't have to have it, you could have accents. You could have it like the and of 3 or the and of 2 and 3. But essentially where the beat falls and where you're going to feel it is right on the 3. Because what's happening is the snare is hitting half the amount of time that it normally would in a regular tempo or regular feel, right? And this is, trap music, basically, is like the rise of trap music is kind of why people write their beats in 120, 140, 160 BPM, because they are building it out in a different, they're just kind of taking the grid and then going at it a different way, right? So that's all I did. I just wrote one in regular feel with one pattern, came to the second section, and just started writing a completely new drum pattern with that fundamental in mind. The fundamental was kick on the 1 and the snare on the 3. So then it's gonna hit a completely different vibe when you get to the halftime feel.
Nice, I like it.
All right. Thanks. I'm going to kick it back to E. All
right, so I'm going to take over now. So I appreciate everything that has been done tonight. It's pretty cool. So I am going to share what I got for you guys. Now this week I challenged myself because every week there's a conversation about that typically from P that I'm cheating because I do chords or whatever and stuff like that. So this week I wanted to challenge myself to not use any I didn't play my keyboard at all. I actually unplugged my keyboard. I didn't have my keyboard connected whatsoever. And so what I did was I wanted to make sure that I had a melodic sound, but I did not touch my keyboard. So here's where we are. I'm going to play the beat, then I'm going to break it down. So here's the beat. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to play it straight through because I have some CPU issues, but we're going to see. So here we go. This one, there we go. There we go.
God put your grace on me. Somebody better pray for me, cause my tank's on E. My singing ain't on key. Try to crack the case, no leads. Yeah, my tank's on God put your grace on me. Somebody better pray for me, cause my tank's on E. My singing ain't on E. Trying to crack the case, no leads. Yeah, my tank's on E. I can't escape police. I'm riding and my brakes won't read. Yeah, my tank's on E. Drowning and my face won't breathe. In the world, no place for me. Yeah, my tank's on E.
So that is the beat for this week. So what I was doing was I was looking into this song here by P called Tank on E. But when the acapella came over, there's multiple places inside of the beat, inside the track where it kind of skips and changes itself. So I was more so using it as a hook to set the tone for how the beat will be, or how the track will go. So this is the vocal of the track. This is the track right here, just by P. All right, so it's not letting me play.
God put your grace on me. Somebody better pray for me, cause my tank's on E. My singing ain't on key. Try to crack the case, no leads. Yeah, my tank's on
So we get to the track here. I'm not sure why this is not playing it.
God put your grace on me. Somebody better pray for me, cause my tank's on E. My singing ain't on key. Try to crack the case, no leads. Yeah, my tank's on.
So this is the audio for the track. But what I did was I dumped it down into a program called Vocal Synth 2. And so it took his vocals that are in the original track and I put them into Vocal Synth 2 plugin, which I love, by the way. It's by Isotope. And Isotope makes a lot of dope plugins. So what I did was I created the Vocal Synth 2 And when you go inside of Vocal Synth, you can create presets. And one of the things you can also do is create a MIDI version of whatever sound you're playing. So you can control this with the MIDI channel. So once you do this, you open up the track and you go to here in the middle of Vocal Synth at the top, you pick your mode. So it's auto mode, MIDI mode, and sidechain mode. So the MIDI mode, it gives you the instructions. You follow those instructions. You have to create a MIDI track, take the MIDI track, and then assign it. So you assign the MIDI track to whatever you want it on. So I would have put it on here, and automatically Vocal Synth 2 would be right under it. So it'll show that it's going to the audio right here and Vocal Synth. And what you get when you play that is different variations, but what we ended up with is this right here. So how I get the words to follow the melody is I grab the chords from what was actually playing through the song, drop them into the MIDI track, and now it'll take the audio and play that in the chord progression instead of playing it through the regular audio. So here's what that sounds like. Somebody better pray for me, cause my tank's on E. My singing ain't on key. Try to crack the case, no leads. Yeah, my tank's on. So that is how I got that background vocal kind of sound in there. So for my bass, I wanted to make sure I came real bass heavy this week because Corey is a bass player, and I wanted to make sure that I brought that with him. So this week I used Moto Bass, and Moto Bass is a really dope plugin that I have, but it allows you to have the nicest bass sounds that you could possibly imagine, aside from actually having someone play bass. So this is the bass sound for the track. So when you go into Moto Bass, it's a lot of functionality. So that sound that I was getting on that bass is a preset that I created, but you can go to any style you want. So you can pick the model of guitar. I love the violin bass. For some reason, it has one of the illest bass sounds. And so you can go in, you can pick the string type. So the age can be old or new or broken in. Broken in is kind of looser. So if you're familiar with the broken in guitar strings, they have a more loose, more comfortable feel to them. But when you put them on old, they have a seasoned sound, but they're not distorted at all. But new is real tight. So for this track, I wanted to use new for the sound of the bass. So you can get the play style, so you can hit pick, you can do slap. So because of the bass type of track we were using, I put the finger. And so you can control all the effects, the amp that you use, the pedals. You can also control the bass that it gives out, so the circuit and tone. Control all of that with Mono Bass. So Mono Bass is something I definitely recommend anybody to get. So Mono Bass is definitely dope. So with that playing background and beat. God put your grace on me, somebody better pray for me, cause my tank's on E. My singing ain't on key. Try to crack the case, no leads. Yeah, my tank's on. So to leave from the bass, we come to here. Now this week, again, I did not want to play any keys myself, so there is a chords MIDI chord kit, melody kit that you can get from this guy named Nico Katsolis. Nico Katsolis is online everywhere. If you're looking up music, you can find his MIDI pack. But I don't like playing people's chords straight out, because if I use a loop, I want to make it my own. So this is what the loop sounds like originally. The chords sound like originally. So we just hear. So pretty nice chords, put me in the feel of like a old 80s track. So sound really cool to me, but I didn't want to use them as they came. So I wanted to throw the arpeggiator on it to give it some interest for the beat. So and so typically, whenever I have a beat that I'm working on that has keys. I kind of followed up with some strings. So I'll grab some strings. I've duplicated the same process onto the strings though. So for these, I left the chords longer so that they have more bounce to them. So as the piano chords would just have arpeggiation and they'll stop, give it a break, so it's not so continuous. With the strings though, because they just are so melodic and they carry so well, I wanted to leave those and have them hanging in there for a little bit longer. So those two are the sounds that you would hear pretty consistently through the beat. I did something this week that I normally don't do, but I'll come back to that. Right here, I always just grab me a nice little hi-hat loop just to throw over the beat, just to make sure the beat is dope, because that's where we are right now with hi-hat. So this goes over the beat. I didn't want hi-hats like the regular hi-hats. I wanted it to be lower. I wanted to be a lower sound to give it personality. It's a serious type of track. I didn't want it to just go and just do the typical trap sound. So that was there. And I also found this really, really dope percussion loop. Because again, no keyboard, not even programming my own drums. So I found this really dope percussion loop. And it's right here. And that goes for the whole beat, pretty consistent, but it's low enough where you can't really hear it. So it kind of adds flavor to the actual, the track with the drums to it. So these two isolated. The drums with that sound really, really dope. So I wanted to isolate those two. So it's pretty much right here. This is really the beat. So this is really a beat I grabbed the loop. I wanted to keep it simple because I wanted the verse, wanted the words to really carry the track, to put focus on the vocals. So basic beat, very basic hip hop beat, hip hop rudimentary beat. Percussion, adding the percussion in kind of gave it flavor and personality. So that's kind of why I went with that. Just a really dope feel to me, really dope feel. So I wanted to make sure that was pronounced in the beat overall. So the thing that I did this week was pretty different for me because I typically don't do this. And Corey does it every single week. So I said, let me try my hand at doing some vocal background kind of thing. But I couldn't get my mic to work. So I had to record into my iPhone. And then I had to transfer the file sounds into Adobe Audition and then convert them to WAV format so that I could put them into the track. And so the vocal sounds would be just an overlay.
Pray for me, 'cause my tank's on heat.
So kind of wanted to have that in there, real, acoustic like, not acoustic like, but atmospheric, kind of give it a real ambiance type of feel and just have something in there that was different on that beat. But I wanted to keep it real light. I didn't want to go too hard. So for the most part, this beat is more just designed, and I broke it down the structure for a rap to go over it so that when I do have the track version of the acapella that does not have the time switches, it'll go overall. But pretty dope for me. I had a lot of fun creating this beat because it allowed me to add my creativity to somebody else's vocal. So this is week 4. This is the P.SO challenge, P.SO remix challenge, and this is how I made the beat. I'm gonna open it up.
Let me hear that drum pattern again.
All right, no problem.
Yeah, E, those drums are sick. Yo, those drums are sick. And you got like a whistle going on. What is that?
That's actually in the percussion. So the percussion itself has the whistle in there. I didn't add that.
Okay.
It's literally like a 1, 2, 3, 4
Yeah.
loop. There's no elaboration to it. It just stays right there.
And your snare has like a kind of like a delay, so it's going like a cut. There's a little bit of a after hit.
Yeah, so with the snare like this snare, and then with the snare combined with this one, you can hear the delay barely, but it gives character to the main snare.
Yeah, that's nice. Yo, and E, you get the new award, which is second person to sing. Sing King.
I'll take that award.
Sing King. Yo, I heard it in the beginning. I was like, wait, that wasn't in the regular track.
I had to, and I couldn't get my mic to work, so I had to do it right through my iPhone and send the audio. Listen, man, when I realized I couldn't use the whole verse, and I didn't have the backup verse, I'm like, I gotta add some kind of additional vocals in here to kind of give personality to it. That would have been like in the verse where he's coming up on the tail end of the story and he's kind of driving it home, and that's just like there as a consistent, just like, cloud over the track.
Yeah, that's nice. And even the like the vocoder stuff, that's crazy, and that's like a really cool technique. Both techniques are really cool that I got to think about too. The first one is using MIDI that you have access to. Either you create it yourself or you take it from somewhere and then flip it in some way. Yeah. But the arpeggiation, where it's playing those chords in arpeggio format, that's really creative, because I mean, you think about a keyboard player, that's kind of how they're going to play mentally. They might hit one chord and then they're comping on down the neck of the keyboard. And then the other thing was the vocoder just totally flipped the feel of the song completely. Like, P.SO's remix had way more of a heartfelt kind of thing going on. Mm-hmm. This being almost like major sounding in nature, gave it, in like the robotic voice gave it like a completely totally different feel altogether.
Yeah. Fine, I'm going to stop sharing, guys. I definitely appreciate the feedback on this week. P, anything else you want to see on here?
I really like that beat a lot, man.
Can't have it. It's for someone else. It's for someone else. I just need your permission to use your vocals.
Interesting. It's fire.
Nice. Okay. So we took some time today, but what we're going to do is we're going to go around the room and we're going to give our props, our respect, our flowers, kind of just commenting on who we thought had, good beat for the week. I've been going first on everything, so that's not happening this time. P.SO is going to go first again.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
First. No, you go first. You got this. It's your week.
I can't go first next week, right?
I'll go first next week.
After all this. Flowers.
This week is hard, man.
This is this is another week where everyone was kind of like making excuses before we went live, and then every beat was sick.
Yeah, we all relying.
Well, Corey really surprised me with the house beat.
That was dope. That was incredible.
I really like how E manipulated all the different vocals and added actually some melody to the track. That was really creative.
You see what he's doing, right, Corey?
Damn. A lot of pressure.
No pressure.
I'm sorry. I'm cheating. I'm splitting my flowers this week.
Oh.
I mean, listen, I don't have to. I'm only doing it because y'all did it before, so you guys set a bad precedent. But you know what? Screw that. I'm not gonna punk out like that. I'm actually gonna give somebody flowers. Damn.
Drum roll.
I'm really impressed with what Corey did with the bass, the different bass sounds on this track. But I really like E's drum patterns, and I also like all the extra work that he did. Damn. All right, so I'm gonna just go ahead and give it to Corey.
Yes.
By a pedal, just by one petal of flower. More.
Yes. I saw the look in your face, Corey. I thought you wasn't gonna come back if you didn't win this week, man.
Well, still that the judgment is still to be determined, but at least I
can't vote for myself. So you pretty much win unless me and you both pick P. So here's where it comes. I'll go next. This week is very interesting. This week is very, very interesting. For me, I am so here's the problem that I have. I've never heard the original track. So when I think remix, I think you take the beat, you remix the beat, you remix the track, you do something different that the track never had before. P, I love the beat. The beat you made was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? That beat was just like, it felt like Ninth Wonder or like a lane they would be in on a track. It felt like something real natural to be in that pocket. But it didn't feel like a remix to me. So it's messing me up because I never heard the original track. So Corey remixed it. And then he super remixed it to where you'd be in a club dancing to that, and all you'd hear was put me on your Instagram, put me on your whatever. And my brain kept thinking like nightclub remix the whole time. So this week is difficult for me because they're both dope versions of an acapella that I heard. Yeah, so I thought I was ready to give my points out, but I guess I'm really not. I don't know. I kind of want to split it. And I know P said that's punking out, but I'm going to split it this week. So I don't know how this works. Do you both get a point? Do you both get 0.5 points? Like, how does this work? You both things were dope as hell. So yeah, I'm giving. There we are. That's what I'm doing.
Look at that.
Nice.
He told you. Did you see that? He told you you couldn't, and then he did it.
He didn't say we couldn't. He said that he shouldn't. He didn't want to.
All right. Awesome. I'm taking all the pedals I could get. Yeah, this was tough. This was really tough. There's so much of. So I think a couple of things. One is your drums are sick. The vocoder stuff is sick. And you went out on a limb and started singing, which is like, that's what this is all about. Every week, it's about trying something new, stepping out of your comfort zone, forcing yourself to do something. P.SO, I think like listening to your track completely, like I can't even remember the original track. You know what I mean? So, I mean, no disrespect to the producer who made that beat or whatever, but I think like it sounds really locked in, and it's weird because it feels like, I don't know. I know you said that you kind of just went with it with like a 90 BPM beat, but it sounds like it's like cohesive. Like it was almost like you made the beat first and then rap to it, when we know that that was not what happened at all. So I'm having really a pretty tough time here. But I think I'm going to give it to E. And I think I'm going to give it to E because he kind of like totally, I mean, he plus he didn't even play the keys himself. He kind of like, he really pushed, I think he's getting that extra pedal because he pushed himself out in a new direction with the singing. And he went out and got some new VSTs or whatever, new plugins. And that drum line is pretty sick too. You know, P, your track sounds like it's ready, you know? It sounds like it's just throw it on the album, you know? But I don't know, you know, obviously you use that sample, you might have to figure something out there, get someone to play some keys.
Yeah, no guy.
Okay, that's it. Flowers have been passed along. Technically, I think I might have taken the week by a half of a flower.
You don't sound satisfied with that. You feel like you sound like you wanted the whole week unanimously.
This was the revenge week for me, and I got a half a flower.
You won.
And I won. All right, I'll take it. Okay.
He wins anyway because you all made music to his music.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do the next challenge. Okay, so made it this far. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick what we are focusing on this week. So if you're watching, you want to get involved, that's what we're doing. We're making beats. We're challenging ourselves to do something different. If you make a beat based upon the challenge that we pick right now, then submit it to us. All of our information is right here. You can check us out on Twitter. You can email us at 3bl@3beatslater.com. And then let us know what you made and we'll showcase it here. We'll play it before we go through anything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and we're going to spin the wheel. So we have the 12 challenges on my right shoulder, whatever that is. And I'm going to spin the wheel. How many times should I spin it before it's official?
Just once. Just one spin.
One dummy spin and then one real spin, right? Okay. So we got a real wheel here. I got to pull up. Okay. So we're going from 1 to 12. E said that we can land on one of mine again. So P.SO, I don't know how you feel about that. Okay, that was the dummy spin. Here comes the real official spin. Here we go. What do we think, guys? Do you want to do that or do you want to spin again? Because that's another
What's the challenge?
Oh boy, I don't even know. It says gear demo videos.
We're spinning again. I don't even know what the hell that is.
What is a gear demo? What is that?
Okay, so this is where
we're spinning again.
All right.
Nope, we're not even gonna have this conversation.
P.SO, how do you feel about that? Do you want to spin again?
I mean, I'm cool spinning again, but I still want to. What is a gear demo?
Then here we go. If we spin again, it can't be one of mine. Okay, so every time it's a 1 through 4, then it's gonna keep going. Okay.
We sample a video. We're doing a gear demo.
So you pick any gear that you like, or any musician showing off their signature keyboard, their signature guitar, their signature bass on YouTube. You find the video, and you sample that musician playing on that piece of equipment, right? So in theory, you're able to build a track off of some famous keyboard player, some famous bass player who's just showing you how to play their new signature bass or something like that, right? So you like Thundercat, watch him give a demo of his new bass and sample that bass line and build a track off of it. But you now have Thundercat on your track, right? So that's the idea. You could do that with multiple instrumentalists or just any random person that's showing off a piece of gear. So that's the idea. But, you know, we got to spin again. So hang on.
Your board is mad bright. The engine is dope. Yo, P, do you control the words that go across your board?
You can do that.
Oh man, because I saw it says something live. Was it saying Ableton Live? Please be 5. Please be 5.
No, please don't be bad.
Please be
Wow.
5.
P.SO, it's your week. It's your week. All right. So that's one of P's. And let's stop. Yeah, it is. It is country music.
Oh, yeah, I'm done with that. I'm done with that.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right.
Already. All the ones that nobody really was like thinking would happen right away happened right away.
I'm ready for that.
So what did you have in mind? Can you explain it for everyone who wants to participate? What do we have to do?
It's open to any era, any artist. Like country music, and try to stay away from like the crossover country, like the country pop. The more authentic country you go, the better.
So we can't use Lil Nas X.
Yeah, right. So Lil Nas X would be kind of not the best example of country. That's too modern. Try to get something classic country music.
Some classic country. Okay. Some classic country.
Give us an example of crossover country. You talking about like Darius Rucker kind of country, like not that kind of country?
Carrie Underwood or whoever.
I mean, because I'm thinking like Billy Ray Cyrus. Can I use Billy Ray Cyrus?
Yeah, you can listen. It all still counts. You won't. My preference is to have authentic country. But if you sample somebody a little more crossover, it's fine. As long as it's country.
All right. Okay. I like it. So there you go. This is episode 4, 3 Beats Later. This was the P.SO Remix Challenge.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate the remixes. They were dope.
It's all good. It's past
all good, man. Yep. We'll send you the invoice. So yeah, participate, send us your beats. We were kind of on a weird schedule because of 4th of July. So I don't know when we're going to broadcast again, maybe Saturday, Sunday, who knows? If we have enough time, we got beats ready. We want to do this once a week. So let us know. We'll try to let you know when we're going to broadcast again. So if you make something, send it to us. We'll showcase it. Country music. Now, y'all go ahead and...
Don't even do it. This is the close of week 4. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Peace out.
All right, see ya.
Peace.